5 signs you are struggling with derealization or depersonalization. Number 1, you start getting like this out of body experience. It's actually pretty scary. You actually feel like you're very disconnected from your body. This is called depersonalization, and a lot of people who struggle with anxiety also experience. Number 2, you feel like nothing is really real. You're not really sure. You're like, man, none of this feels real. This all feels kind of fake. You even start looking at your hands and then you start thinking, am I real? What is real? What is reality? Now, this is called derealization. Now, both these things can be absolutely terrifying if you don't know what's happening. In fact, for me, it was the number 1 reason to think that I was definitely going crazy. I'm like, this is it. I'm going nuts. I'm actually going crazy. But the truth is that they are trauma responses due to just feeling overwhelmed with the anxiety and with the stress. This leads me to number 3. You start experiencing what we call existential anxiety. You start thinking about, what's the point of life? What's the meaning of everything? Why am I here? Like, how do we know what's here, what's not here? We're just all in a spinning ball, the spinning rock. Why aren't we just holding each other and crying? We don't know why we're here. And so the point is that people who struggle with depersonalization, derealization get a lot of intrusive thoughts about existential anxiety. They start thinking, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Now, here's the key. They're actually experiencing stress, and everything is about survival. But what happens is they start having higher level thoughts. So mix survival with higher level thoughts, and then you start getting into this existential anxiety. Really what's happening is that you're just in the survival state. You just need to push the existential thoughts aside. Once the anxiety disappears and the DPDR goes away, you can go back to thinking normally, totally freely, totally with full engagement of everything. I remember I used to have conversations about spirituality, about this, about all these other things, but when I was struggling with DPDR, I never wanted to talk about it. In fact, it was terrifying. And it was all just because of the anxiety. Once I fixed that, once the DPDR went away, all of this ends up going away. Now, this leads me to step 4, which is oftentimes people experience DPDR after having a panic attack. In fact, that leads me to step 5, which is oftentimes they get their first panic attack. Now, this is not all the time, but typically when they've like smoked some weed or maybe taking some sort of drug, and that's actually what causes it.